you going to be in 10 years? What kind of player are you going to be?
10 years, I want to be, known as a true professional, a guy that played the game the right way. Hopefully still in the league and still effective in the league. There's not many people that last in double-digit years, so it starts now and building a foundation for later on down the road.
This is the story of a player who wasn't supposed to dominate, who wasn't supposed to lead a dynasty, who wasn't supposed to revolutionize the sport. A player too small, too skinny, too overlooked. But he didn't listen to expectations. He didn't listen to limits. He didn't listen to the people who tried to define him. Stephen Curry listened to one thing, the voice inside that said, "Keep going." Before the world knew his name, Stephen Curry was just a kid with a dream and a ball that felt too big for his hands. He wasn't the tallest. He wasn't the fastest. He wasn't the one scouts were excited about. But here's the truth. Greatness rarely starts with applause. It starts with doubt, with being underestimated, with being told you can't so many times that you decide you will. Curry learned early that the world won't always believe in you. So he built a belief system stronger than anyone's expectations. When colleges said he wasn't good enough, he worked. When doubters said he'd never survive in the NBA, he worked. When analysts said his game wouldn't translate, he worked. He didn't chase validation. He chased improvement. He chased mastery. He chased the version of himself he knew he could become. There's a moment in every era when everything shifts, when the old rules break, when the impossible becomes the new normal. For basketball, that moment was when Stephen Curry started pulling up from 30 feet and made it look routine. He didn't just stretch the floor, he stretched imagination. He forced defenses to guard places they never guarded before. He turned the three-point line into a weapon more dangerous than anyone dreamed. He made shooting an art, then made it a requirement. And the world followed. Kids in parks, professionals in arenas, teams across the league. Everyone started shooting deeper, faster, more confidently. Why? Because Curry proved you didn't need to be built like a superhero to dominate. You just needed skill. You needed discipline. You needed heart. He democratized greatness. He made the extraordinary feel reachable. But greatness isn't just about talent. It's about resilience, about getting up every time the world tries to knock you down. Stephen Curry was doubted before the league. He was doubted again after injuries, ankles that wouldn't hold, critics saying he'd never last, analysts saying he'd peak early. But champions aren't defined by their setbacks. They're defined by their refusal to stay there. Curry rebuilt himself, mind, body, and game. He transformed weakness into strength. He turned fragility into foundation. And when he returned, he didn't just come back better. He came back as a force that would lead a dynasty. Multiple championships, multiple MVPs, records that looked like video game numbers. He didn't just silence the doubters, he made them believers. Stephen Curry's legacy isn't just in the trophies, not just in the records. not just in the statues that will someday rise in his honor. His legacy is this: believe in your work so deeply that the world has no choice but to notice. Believe in your dream so strongly that doubt becomes irrelevant. Believe in yourself even when nobody else does. Curry taught millions of kids that greatness has no blueprint. You don't need to fit the mold. You don't need to be chosen. You don't need to be the biggest name in the room. You just need to be willing to outwork everyone in it. Stephen Curry didn't just change the game. He changed the mindset of a generation. His story is proof that you can be overlooked, underestimated, and doubted, and still rise to greatness. So when the world says you can't, smile like Curry, lock in, put in the work, and show them you can. Because greatness isn't given, greatness is earned.